afternoon, gang. Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
great start.
Sorry.
Made an entrance at least, right? No one's going to forget that.
There we go.
Yeah, events are unforgettable, not this one.
I just wanted to look important with someone fixing my mic. See if I can get around there easily. Nice to see you all. Thank you for coming in. Christ, it's hot. So we really appreciate you coming into our little sweatbox. Feels vaguely better here.
It does, actually, yeah.
I don't know if it's aircon, but we've got something. There's a lot of sort of self-use fans going on. Lovely to see you. Thank you. I hope you're having a good day. There's a good few days. This promises to be a brilliant session, not because I'm involved, because I've got two wonderfully talented women to my left that are going to tell you lots of fabulous stuff in the worlds of talent, how to be frankly brilliant in terms of entrepreneur, the importance of human connection right now in a world of ceaseless scrolling, and all that good stuff. Now, as we mentioned, we're starting off with, has just been described as a powerhouse, Fleur. I mean, I was thinking actually Fleur's CV is frankly intimidating as well as inspiring all in one. Fleur's, of course, singer, TV, radio host, this kind of Kurl Friends Run Club that we're going to be discussing today. I think you're going to adore if you don't know about it. Partnering with brands, the likes of Adidas are involved. Her own brand and product, Kurl Kitchen too. This mission that you're on. So this is exciting. And then to my left here is Charlie Copsey, who I've been fortunate enough to know for a while. But maybe this is a good way into it. Charlie, tell us how all this begun. Tell us about you. Tell us about the Underground Fan Club and the idea of giving talent a proper platform to be themselves.
Yeah, so I am a producer by trade, so I worked in TV, radio, and film for a really long time. And in that time, I became friends and built relationships with a lot of athletes and a lot of talent that we worked with. And something that I noticed was that I saw this human side of them that no fans really got to see, and this is really before social media as well. It was a really long time ago, and I just there was this something that was bubbling away at me of I really want fans to experience what I'm experiencing. And in the meantime, I was working on a show called Fighting Talk, which is a really popular sports entertainment show, and we were taking it around the country 15 years ago, so we were really ahead of our time, and we were taking it to theatres and to football stadiums. And it was really special bringing the audience together and our audience that we'd created. And it was just we were building something, and it was all about this community that we'd built. And people were coming because they had a love of the show and they wanted to connect with the talent. And we had some absolutely iconic people on Fighting Talk. And so that's where it really started. And it was just something, and I was going to corporate events, and I was like, oh, these are boring. These are really bad. And I know that's going to offend some people, but I just felt like they were really lazy, and the questions that the talent got asked were the same questions that they'd asked. I mean, you must have experienced this a million times. Where's the creativity here? And because I'm a producer, I was just squirming in my seat. I was like, this has to be better. So 2018, I just thought, do you know what, I'm just going to do an event, and we ended up doing one around an Anthony Joshua fight. And the idea was that we'd create a warm-up party to get everyone really excited and to build on that hype and anticipation. And we had David Hay there, we had Steve Bunce, who's a legendary boxing commentator, Nick Bright, Darren Harriott. I rang up Fleur and I was like, can you come and DJ at this event that I'm doing for boxing? And she's like, yeah, I don't know anything about boxing, but sure. And basically just pulled in a load of favors because I was like, I'm trying to create a platform where talent and fans can connect in this really authentic way, and that's where it all began.
But I think you're being quite humble, pulling in favors and all of that. But no, genuinely, tell us a touch more about, so the AJ event is a clearly great one to be kicking on with. But what about now? Give us an example of the smattering of things that you do. Tell us maybe about the importance. You're mentioning audience, and you're mentioning the old after-dinner speech circuit where the audience basically are ignored, or you're trotting out the same cliches. What's different about something that Underground Fan Club put on? What is it that you do with the audience? Why is it important to be in these gatherings? Tell us more.
I think everyone talks about AI, of course, but I feel like the more that's happening, the more we need human connection. I think humans are wired to need connection, and I honestly believe, as we go on, the more we will need these in-person experiences. And I know a lot of people are they'd rather spend money on an experience that they can remember for the rest of their lives than a new watch or a new bag. So I think it's it's about making sure that we're creating environments for, like, we are making this for the fans. You know, it's like everything we do is like we're thinking like, how can we make sure that every single person in this room leaves going, that was one of the best nights or mornings or whatever I've had, because I've spent time with people that are like-minded like me, and I've been able to connect with talent that I would never be able to ever connect with.
So is it about that proximity to talent? Is it about the fact that fans like these guys can be this close up and personal?
And the key thing is that when we work with talent, they buy into what we're creating. So it's not going to work for everyone. They might want to come, they might want to pop on stage for 20 minutes, get their money, and bugger off. Like, that is not going to work for us. We want to work with talent that are really and truly wanting to connect with their audience and their own community and build their own community. So we want to create something just as much as amazing as the talent as it is for the fans. And I'm sure Fleur can attest to that there's so many little bits of like ingredients, and I guess we've got this secret sauce that probably is so ingrained in what we do now, it's quite hard to explain. And obviously I won't give our secrets away. But we want to make sure that, the talent are there and that they leave as well going, that was really bloody great.
All right, well, this is a good segue then to bring in the talent. Let's bring
the talent. I
let's
do hate
bring in
that
the
term
talent
as well. Let's give her a name,
Let's refer. Listen, we can't big up Fleur anymore. We've gone singer, actress. We've gone
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner at the West End.
Tina Turner.
Where do you be? All right, let's actually start there. Where does all that come from? Is that work ethic? Is that creative drive? Where does that just creative impetus to have so many outlets for your creative expression? Give us a little bit of history of you and where that comes from.
Well, I think it all comes from my parents, to be honest. Like, they bought me a keyboard when I was 3 and would just watch me making up songs in the corner of the living room. And they nurtured that gift in me, to be honest. I was a very shy kid. I used to just do things on my own.
Really?
Go to my room, close the door, sing by myself. And they would force me to sing in front of family at, dinners and things like that. And I would absolutely dread it. But they encouraged me to explore that.
What about when you heard everyone loved it? Did that drive something in you? Did that excite you? Did
a
you
little, but I was still not very confident.
Really?
And it just took me doing it again and again and again to then find the confidence in myself. So I think it was definitely them. And my father, God rest his soul, he always said to me, you can never have too many strings to your bow.
Love it.
He was like, why not? Why not do that? Why not do that and that and that?
Wonderful.
Why do you have to do one thing? And I was like, well, yeah, actually.
So did you always have it in you to have that multifaceted approach? I might write a bit, I might sing a bit, I might bring dancing in, I might be an actress. Was that a given that you could work across the board like that?
Yeah, I never really
'Cause it feels unique,
pigeonholed
like
myself. I just said, well, I'm passionate about many things. Why should I limit myself to only explore one thing?
And did you find in periods of success, or I voted for you, by the way. That was X Factor at its peak.
I'm sorry I didn't win. I'll reimburse you.
I don't even remember.
I think you've done all right.
Fleur's rendition of Uptown Funk before Ronson brought it out.
Amazing.
I remember we were watching it out and I was like, that's bloody brilliant. And no one knew the track. But anyway,
Thank you.
stuff like that created you then as a pop star, inverted commas, and therefore really bloody good and top 10 records all the time and all of that sort of stuff and all the trappings that come in with that. Do you then have to stop and go, I don't just want to be this? Do you then deliberately work in other areas?
Yeah, I always saw it as a platform. And I thought, well, what other doors can I open once I've reached here? And I always wanted to host. I did journalism at uni for my degree. My father was always opening up businesses and always worked for himself. So that was something I really wanted to do. And that's where I guess Kurl Kitchen comes from, with me and my sister Kesha.
Go on, tell us a little bit about it. And I'm sure many people in the audience don't know Kurl Kitchen. Give us the rundown, because that's a great opportunity to talk about.
So it was actually born out of quite a sad time. So me and my sister, we lost our father, sadly, in 2020. And after he died, I remember it so vividly. Me and my sister were sitting at my dining room table and we were just going, what do we do now? Like this, we need to do something. In our dad's name, we need to do something as sisters. And he always wanted us to work together. And so we thought, let's just put our heads together and think of something that we're passionate about. And hair was the number one thing. It's been the bane of our lives. Just the journey of trying to find products that work in our hair, growing to love our hair.
Yeah.
There were many years we hated it.
Yeah.
We used to iron it straight on the ironing board,
Oh, no.
relax it, perm it, do all the things to get rid of our natural hair. And we just said, well, why don't we create the hair care range that we dreamed of having when we were kids? And we wanted to tie it in with our mother's heritage as well, being from Ghana.
Awesome.
So we decided to, as soon as we could get on a plane, as soon as lockdown lifted, we went to Ghana and we formulated the entire range, Kurl Kitchen, in Ghana, brought it over to the UK. We honestly didn't really know how to do it all.
But even in the UK, we formulated the whole range. How? How do you do that?
Well,
did you find people?
Yeah, we found people in Ghana on the ground that were working in a lab that were already formulating hair care ranges out there. And we said, well, we want to use ingredients that we grew up eating in our mother's kitchen. Okra, yam, baobab, black soap we put in our shampoo.
Wow.
Plantain skin, things that we grew up eating, and hence the name Kurl Kitchen. And our tagline is from our roots to yours, because we went back home and we're bringing a lot of our heritage and our culture in the brand. And now we've created the perfect hair care range. And honestly, it is, because we didn't want to just sign up with a company, do a white label thing. I've always been very passionate about having a genuine interest in what I'm doing. So me and my sister were like, listen, if it's going to take us years to formulate, we're going to do this. And it took us 4 years. And then it coincided with me giving birth to my daughter and then us launching 2 months later. I mean, of course,
Crikey.
Why would it happen at any other time?
Yeah.
And we launched in Boots. And we're in over 500 stores. And we sell online. And we have an amazing community.
So as a brand man, by the way, from our roots to yours is a wicked line. Tell us a tiny bit more about, it's one thing talking about your multifaceted creative output, and this, I assume, is another example. But for me, it feels very different when you're dealing with formulating an actual product, creating a brand from scratch, doing stuff like, I don't know, spreadsheets and working out business models. Very different to being on stage in the West End. I can't even imagine. Tell us about it. Tell us mere mortals what that difference is like. Is it really hard? Do you find it hard?
It's different, but do you know what? I think at the core, it's the same thing.
Right.
I think it's just having the motivation to explore a passion and not being deterred by any of the challenges that you face. Because there was never a point where we said, actually, this isn't going to work. We always believed it would work. Even from the moment we thought of the name, we sat at the table and we said, right, we're going to be in Boots, and it's going to be called Kurl Kitchen, and it's going to have these ingredients. We didn't know how that was going to happen. And we just networked, and we contacted people, and we just made connections. And somehow, through our passion and our drive, we made it happen. I remember having meetings with Boots, and we didn't even have the product. We just had the story.
Wow.
And we told them the story and the idea, and they said, we love it, we want it. They hadn't even seen it yet.
I think storytelling is the most overused word, but still arguably one of the most important skills you can have. I'd say to any parent to tell their kids in this era of AI, learn storytelling, however you deliver it, like you, spoken word, present, however. So from Kurl Kitchen to the Kurl Friends Run Club, give us a little bit of that genesis, because I could see how, being you're like, this is amazing product, I can see the community. Tell us how this comes about, either of you.
So we worked with Fleur and Kesha to create what was it called? Kurl Kitchen Hair Stories.
Kurl Kitchen Hair Stories.
In October, and it was an amazing event where we brought everyone together, and it was just very empowering, wasn't it? You had some incredible speakers, and they were talking about, the challenges that they've faced. And what was that stat that came up? 60% of women.
60% of women with textured hair avoid exercise altogether.
Yeah.
Hold on, say that again. I don't know if people took that in.
Yes.
Say that again.
60% of women with textured hair avoid any kind of physical activity.
On the basis of the textured
hair maintenance, having a wash day and having to deal with the frizz again, having to go through it again. Hair maintenance, basically.
And for me, that feels insane. The fact that you could inform the brief, short-term direction of your life predicated on the fact that your hair doesn't feel right post-running.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And also, even going into spaces, gym spaces, where you don't have any products that cater to textured hair or afro hair. So you go, great, so I can't just go into the gym shower and know that there's going to be shampoo and conditioner there for me. There's nothing that's tailored to my hair. So there are a lot of issues surrounding it.
And so was this lineage what became Run Club to prove that insight, to prove that point?
Yeah, so we'd done some experiences with Fleur before around running. I have a habit of ringing Fleur up and going, do you want to run a 10K? And she's like, no, not really. And I'm like, well, I've got something and you need to do it. So this was quite similar. But Marcel, we need to give a shout out to Marcel because Fleur's husband, because he was like, guys, you need to do a run club. It's about community. And I remember Fleur saying to me, Kurl Kitchen needs to build a community. Like, we don't want to just be a product on a shelf. And so our passion for running and fitness and empowering other people to do that, we kind of came up with the idea of the Run Club. And then this doesn't obviously usually happen, and it was so magical the way it happened, but I just rang up one of our clients who's at Sportsshoes.com and said, we've got this idea and we've worked a lot with them. And he was like, oh my God, I love it. We want in.
Wow.
I think Adidas will love it. He makes a call to Adidas. Yes, we want in. It was honestly just like a dream.
So that's how it always happens, right?
Oh yeah, always, yeah. Don't be fooled.
Couple of calls, two big brands,
couple
done.
of WhatsApps. But then it went from like being a run club to then, that was the news I had to break to Fleur to say, to do this, you need to be part of the Manchester Marathon.
Yeah.
And so we ended up putting a relay team in. And so
wow.
what we did was we did a launch event where everyone got gifted Adidas trainers. And it really worked well with Adidas because they were launching a new shoe called the Adidas Supernova Rise 2. And it was all for like the everyday runner, and it was very female specific. And we kind of wanted to create a place, especially for females, to be able to empower them. And that was really important to us, that they could turn up and be unapologetically themselves and feel like they were included in something. And then, yeah, we did a number of run clubs, and then it all kind of accumulated in Manchester Marathon, where Fleur absolutely smashed it.
How was the marathon?
Thank you. Yeah, it was hard. It was very hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, like Charlie said, it was more about building a community. And
Right.
I wanted to be able to inspire the women that came along to the Kurl Friends Run Club and show them that, yeah, me, even though I'm not a runner, I'm going to do this. And I was empowered by them, to be honest. And I think having that event at the end, it was very emotional on the day. We all cried.
Oh, I was
at the
crying
end.
my eyes out. It was so emotional.
amazing.
But it strikes me you've hit on something really beautiful. I know you're half joking with the way the brand's involved, but that involvement with brands at that stage, where they're tying into something they believe in, the way you walked in with a product that was a story. What about from a talent perspective, working with brands? I'm assuming you had 1 million brands come to you over the years at different stages. Has this whole entrepreneurial side of you taught you, if you like, the way talent should really work with brands? What are you both thinking about that? Again, for the room here, there'll be brands here, there'll be people who work with talent. What's the good and bad ways? We've only got a couple of minutes.
I think, to be honest, you can always tell when something's genuine or not. If you follow anybody on socials and then suddenly they're promoting something, you're going, here?
Yeah.
Since when did you even play games and now you're promoting weed?
So it
or
needs to
whatever?
be true to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. It needs to be genuine. And I think where brands go wrong is they sort of dictate how the content should be created or how it looks based on their message. But then if you're working with the talent, you need to understand how their audience follow things. And I think if you're working with them, you need to tap into why they connect with their audience. And I think that's what's missing. I think it should be talent-led. If you're going to approach them, you should let them dictate how it's going to work, not the other way around.
And Charlie, give me one thing then brands, again, some of the brands in the room, should be thinking or doing right now to stand out and probably matter. Probably in the vein, of course, of what we're speaking about and the brilliant work that you've done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, be less fucking boring, but also, like, it is really that physical connection. I think that has been massively lost, and like, you know, it's the first thing to go in a budget. It's like we can't afford to do events, we can't afford to do physical, and the amount of podcasts that I listen to where you've got people saying, like, with their brands, they did a pop-up, they did, you know, they put themselves in a different community, and the amount that you get from that, there is no social content piece, I'm sorry, but cannot move people and connect with people the way physical experiences can. So I'm just like, please put that back into your marketing strategy, because it is so valuable. And also you get loads of content anyway, like win-win-win.
Here, everybody, can you put your hands together for Fleur East and Charlie Copsey?
And James Kirkham.
And
Have a good rest of your day, gang.
thank you.